Oh, Shazam 2. Oh, Shazam 2 flopped because of James Gunn.
Oh, we're talking about this?
I guess, yeah.
Shazam 2 flopped because Shazam sucks.
Yeah, that could be it too. I know
There's no interest in this movie. There was no interest really in the last one, was there?
It was barely. I remember people going, oh, I liked it. It was okay. And then mostly people saw it because it's part of the DC.
I already talked about this movie on Saturday. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't give a shit
either. I'm not interested in the movie. I like Zachary Levi, but I just don't really care about Shazam. And
so did neither of you guys see the movie?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I don't care.
Dude, I had to go to the fucking Wick at 2 a.m. last night. I'm certainly not going to go watch Shazam.
So Jude and I went and saw it, and it was actually a very fun movie. Like, I was surprised at how good it was.
The first one was fun too.
Butt Boy. Okay.
Another movie you haven't seen.
I have no faith in what you think is good.
Well, you even admitted it in your tweet. You were like, I like Shazam too, but I also you mentioned 2 other movies that sucked, and people were like, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
you're the worst.
I said I like Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's what it was. Thor: Love and Thunder was trash too.
Yeah, but so Shazam 2 was like the epitome of a dumb but fun movie. Like, it was a stupid movie, but it was enjoyable. And I think that number one, Warner's didn't market it very well. But number 2, because James Gunn came out and said we're rebooting everything, everyone was convinced, it's like, what's the point? I'll just wait until video because like this movie in the larger scheme of things doesn't matter. And what's crazy is like there are 2 post-credit scenes that set up the fact that like they had plans to do other stuff in the DCEU, and now those things are like completely gone.
Speaking of like credit scenes and Shazam and stuff, there's some back and forth going on, on Twitter about a scene in the first movie Shazam where they're all sitting on the thrones and there's an empty one, and it's supposed to be a setup for Black Adam. And I guess the people who made the movie are like, we never filmed that. That wasn't in the movie.
No, they filmed it, but they
took it out.
They said it was one of the first things they cut, but it was in the movie.
I saw it in the movie. I remember watching them sit down and talk about, oh, we're sitting on these cool thrones, and then one of the kids was like, well, what's that empty one for? And then they all looked at it, and it zooms in on it, and it's got the lightning bolt on it.
They were talking about the sequel.
Yeah.
So, like, you said you didn't see the sequel.
I didn't see the sequel. I saw the first one. That scene was in the first one.
Well, no, there were other, like, throne scenes in the sequel, and Adam Sandberg, who directed the movie, has come out and said, people are saying that they saw this scene in the second one. In the second movie, but we cut it out. It was not in that movie.
But you saw it.
Yeah. Like it was totally in the movie, and I'm not alone. Like tons of people have seen this, and people are saying like, oh, it's the Mandela effect. You know, like people saw it in the first one, so they think it's in the second one. I'm like, no, we were in the theater. We saw them do that throne scene.
I love the Mandela effect theory. It's so fun. And like you'll watch like old commercials from the 90s and be like, remember this commercial? And I'm like, yeah, I do remember that commercial. And they're like, it never existed. And I'm like, what? I've seen it. I've seen it. Like the Shazam movie with Sinbad. I'm like, I know I saw that commercial. Sinbad was Shazam.
We had the same discussion at work last week.
Did you really? What kind of things were they talking about?
The Sinbad thing.
The Sinbad thing, yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
There's like a weird temporal anomaly.
I was all like, Shaq is Shazam, or Shaq is Kazam.
Kazam,
right?
yeah.
And then they're no, it's Sinbad. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It was, it was weird.
Shaq was Steel. Does that movie exist? Did I make that up on my own?
No, that movie exists.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
But yeah, I feel really bad for Zachary Levi because he was good in this movie. This is like his franchise.
Yeah, it's dead.
And it's just been mishandled from the beginning, I think. Like the first movie was, very much kind of like almost a horror movie. It was very strange. And in this movie, in the trailers, you see Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, and you're just like, these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And when you're watching the movie, they actually they work. They actually work pretty well. And so like I feel like there's just a lot of stuff in this movie that wasn't presented to the public good enough, I think, because it's a fun enough movie to spend an hour and a half of your day watching.
Just certain movies that I have no desire to go spend theater money on, and DC Cape movies are one of them.
When everyone knew this movie was in trouble, and Warner Brothers probably had internal polling or something like that told them this, is when they put out TV spots showing Wonder Woman's cameo, because that was supposed to be like a big surprise moment in the movie.
Oh, they're like, please come to the theater, please.
Yeah, like as soon as they put Gal Gadot and ruined her appearance in this movie.
How much was she in the movie?
She was actually, so she showed up at the very end, and she was on screen for like a pretty decent amount of time.
Hmm.
But the fact that they ruined that moment for like a commercial spot just shows how desperate Warner Brothers was to try to get some interest in this movie, because I don't think there was a lot of buzz about it going into it.
Did you guys hear about the controversy with Zachary Levi and Dwayne Johnson? Like, so Zach, yeah, did you hear about that? So
yeah, a little bit.
There's an article I just pulled up real quick. It said, aside from the disastrous box office result, the film is also wrapped in controversies. Days after Shazam was released, an article was published by The Wrap claiming that Dwayne Johnson rejected a post-credit scene featuring Zachary Levi in Black Adam. And I saw an interview with Zachary Levi when somebody was like, have you seen Black Adam yet? And he's like, no, not going to watch it. I have no desire to see it. Not going to do it. And I'm like, and at that time, these are two DC movies that are supposed to be like, you know, hand in hand, and Black Adam has a really close tie with Shazam. So you'd think they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see it. I can't wait. You know, we'll look forward to working with them, whatever. Zachary Levi's like, nah, didn't bother seeing it.
Yeah, I know that in the comics, like Black Adam is Captain Marvel or Shazam's like primary like antagonist.
Yeah.
But when The Rock took over the role, he wanted to distance himself from Shazam and make it so that Superman and Shazam were kind of like the center of the DC universe, and Black Adam, Superman and Black Adam were the center of the DC universe, and Black Adam would be kind of Superman's nemesis, because on a power level, like they're very similar. And I think that was just The Rock's ego.
Yeah,
like he really should have been like the Shazam villain.
Yeah. I can't see Zachary Levi fighting The Rock.
Dwayne has an ego. That is 100%.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But there was actually a big tie-in to the Peacemaker TV show in Shazam 2. And they were kind of setting up a Justice Society of America type thing. And it just like, it was an in-credit scene, and it just fell so flat, because you just know, like, none of this stuff matters. None of this stuff is actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're going to try and blame any one person, James Gunn announcing a brand new DC universe right before these movies come out, because the same thing's going to happen to Aquaman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, who cares about Aquaman now?
I think their silly Flash movie is going to underperform as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's been praising the crap out of that. Like, this is so good.
He has to.
Well, Tom Cruise doesn't.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise said it was like one of the best movies you've ever seen.
Tom Cruise is weird.
You were we saw the trailer for it in the theater last night, and you were like, Keaton's going to be in it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
probably.
It. We're gonna have 3 minutes of Keaton. And
I just see nothing but gimmicks.
They based the entire trailer off of Keaton's Batman in last night's movie theater when we went, and I was like, they leaned real heavily on that.
Have you guys ever read the Flashpoint comic?
I watched the animated one, which was amazing. Animated cartoon of a Flashpoint was freaking cool.
I have a hard time talking about DC movies because I'm just not their target. I didn't read a lot of DC comics, and outside the big three, which they should be focusing on, I don't really care. And I hate to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up watching Batman and Justice League and Super Friends is what I mean, and stuff like that. And these movies just aren't it.
Well, what's also crazy is like they got this Blue Beetle movie set to come out this year.
Zero interest.
But nobody knows who that is.
Blue Beetle?
And there's been like zero like marketing for it.
Who greenlit that? Like a Blue Beetle movie. Like, I know there's probably a handful of people out there who are like, oh, I love Blue Beetle.
Well, look at all that shit Gunn announced.
They're all
DC
these like
universe.
super weird,
all
obscure
bullshit that nobody's ever heard of, and nobody's gonna pay to go watch.
Still do not understand why DC doesn't just hunker down and do what they do and just let one-off movies like Joker, the Batman, just have one-off cool, artistic, weird DC dark movies that are like the exact opposite of Marvel. Like, why? They keep doing it and they make a lot of money. Batman made a shit ton of money. The Joker made a shit ton of money. The second one's probably gonna make just as much. Like, why don't they see the flags are right there in front of you? That's how we make our thing. That's what DC does best. Not this freaking shared universe nonsense with a bunch of obscure characters that nobody's ever heard of. I just don't get it. I don't get what their idea is. Is it more profitable to have a cinematic universe than have a handful of billion-dollar one-offs?
Yes.
Well, if you think about the concept of a cinematic universe, it's basically a perpetual motion machine to get people to actually show up to all the movies that you release. So having a shared universe where you have multiple movie releases a year is the thing that actually will compel people to go to the theater, because they want to, continue like the larger storyline.
Hey, we got a $1.99 super chat from The Grid.
Tom
Welcome,
Cruise rules.
sir. Tom Cruise rules. You know what? Tom Cruise does rule. Absolutely can't deny it.
He's good at making movies.
But man, he's
a little weird.
He's a little weird.
He's a little weird.
You can't deny his weirdness.
But it's
But
really-
I do like his movies.
Yeah, I
Like,
do too.
I can't.
Are
say
you
it,
guys
no.
excited about the next Mission Impossible?
Absolutely.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I just saw that one stunt that he did, and I'm like, I'll watch it.
Man, that dude jumped off that cliff like 18 times that day.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I can't believe they let him do that.
He's insane.
Have you heard the story that Matt Damon tells about Tom Cruise and doing the stunts and stuff? And I think it was for the movie that he was like hanging off the side of that building in Dubai. He's like, so I had this idea for the stunt that I wanted
He's
to
insane.
do. And he's like, but my safety guy told me I couldn't do it. So
I did it.
I went and got another safety guy.
Yeah.
And then we did the stunt. Tom Cruise just doesn't give a crap.
Likes to make it look real.
Yeah, I mean, he's dedicated to his
Yeah.
craft. I'll give it to him. I watched the beginning of Top Gun Maverick the other day just to get like, I was flipping through the channels and I saw Top Gun Maverick was free on Prime or something. I was like, oh, cool. So I just watched that opening scene where he's flying that jet to the super high speed. Was it Mach 10 or
Yeah.
whatever? It was a fun scene. It was cool.
Yeah. Hey, as it's on the screen right now, we do have YouTube memberships now. Only $1.99 for the lowest tier. Go ahead and hit those things and get your special emojis and badges and stuff. They're a lot of fun. And hit that button. Yeah. Well, did you just do that?
Sorry, yeah, my
What
bad.
are you
We're
doing,
clicking
man?
buttons. My bad.
Who's clicking here?
I did it by accident. My bad. He did save Hollywood. Asked
He did.
Spielberg.
I listen. I'm not denying Cruise's awesomeness. He's awesome. He makes freaking great movies.
Yeah.
Maverick was a generational accomplishment. It was a great movie. Sobbed like a baby. And I might go watch it again tonight.
You know how
But-
awesome Tom Cruise is?
How awesome.
He
is
has his own religion.
Yeah.
it? That's what makes him a little weird.
That's the
Well, I
weird
mean,
part.
the Church of Scientology
Yeah.
is his religion.
Oh, it's
Like
L. Ron
he
Hubbard's.
is the leader of that church.
Is he officially the leader?
Yeah.
I always
Did
thought
they-
he was
did
just
they
like the
ordain him?
spokesperson.
He's now the head.
Did they
Xenu.
dub him? They were
See how
like
the head Xenu or whatever.
You
the
are
fuck
now-
it is?
Lord Xenu.
Go hold on to those rod things.
I wonder if
I
they have
don't-
like multicolored robes with hoods on them that they wear.
I don't know. That would be cool though.
I'm amazed that he's able to keep that side of his life so under wraps.
Well, everybody knows about it.
Everybody
and
knows,
they
but,
just
like-
they just ignore it.
But you don't see paparazzi going out there finding freaking Cruise in underwear with a white robe, like with 17 bitches behind him. Like it's just it's weird that he can get away with that level of.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Scientology to even talk about it.
I'm just
Other
making
than it's
I'm
weird,
making
but
things
yeah.
up. I don't know either.
And the Leah Remini.
She's pretty hardcore against everything.
Yeah.
She came out hard during Maverick when it was like hot and everybody was talking about
Well,
it.
Scientology almost destroyed her.
Yeah, I'm not blaming her, and I tend to believe
Yeah.
everything that she pretty much says is probably true. But I'm just like,
JT,
I just don't know how. What's up?
JT Gunn with the one gifted sub. Thank
Oh,
you,
cool.
sir. That was awesome.
Right on. That'll make up for the one that we lost. So
Yeah. yeah.
I don't think we lost anything.
We lost.
actually.
No, I know that guy was real hard on
Just
us.
that one
He was
dork.
real mad at us for not liking that show.
He called me a fat bearded guy.
Whoa! He called us soft because we didn't like John Wick 4. Go home.
It's like I have higher standards.
Go away now to
Fuck
take it
face.
from our boy, Critical Drinker.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you didn't like John Wick 4 because that seemed like your type of
No, dude.
movie, just like all
Listen,
eye candy, all spectacle.
No, it was too much. It was not a Wick movie.